My lord, the issue involved in this case, my lord, whether electricity duty would be applied to the government of India or not. Yesterday, my lord, I failed to answer some of the query put forth by this honorable court. Yes, my lord, they see here.
Thanks, sir.
हाँ कल का ऑर्डर बताइएगा आपके कमर्शियल कनेक्शंस किस पर्पस के लिए यूज होते हैं एमईएस में?
Sir, commercial connections are including all the activities which we are doing in commercial, sir. All are being used by Government of India defense employee and are being provided by defense employee
ये
only,
मत
sir.
बताइए, आपको जो सवाल है उसको समझने की कोशिश करिए पहले।
Sir. Sir,
आप गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है।
yes, sir.
गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया कौन सी कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी करती है जिसके लिए आपको कमर्शियल कनेक्शन लगता है?
Sir, commercial activities to include, sir, we have a military hospital, sir.
हाँ, दैट इज अ कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी।
My lord,
एक सेकंड वेट, लेट हिम आंसर।
Sir, as per MPSCB, we have two different heads, sir. One is all the quarters in which married army men are living, sir. We call them domestic purpose, sir. Rest everything is under like Government of India.
What is the classification given by the electricity authority for taking a domestic connection and a commercial connection?
Sir, for domestic connection, all those married accommodations are included in domestic connection, sir, or residential users.
Unmarried को domestic नहीं है. Unmarried will not be said to be in a domestic accommodation. ऐसा है क्या?
Sir,
अगर एक बैचलर है वो रहता है आपके क्वार्टर में तो वो क्या जो है डोमेस्टिक कनेक्शन नहीं कहलाएगा?
Sir, because all those who are living unmarried, sir, they are not in a quarter, sir. They are living in a line barrack kind of.
बैरक तो
Yes.
बैरक में क्या कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी होती है जिसके कारण उसको कमर्शियल कनेक्शन लेना पड़ेगा?
Barrack are not included in commercial activities.
They are residential, they are domestic connections.
Sir, but we are not giving them bills, sir. They are not authorized to pay the electricity bill, sir.
नहीं, they may not be authorized to pay, that is not authorized. You are not charging the residents of the barrack,
Sir.
and you are bearing the expenses of the electricity used in the barracks.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है?
Sir.
तो but will it make it a commercial connection?
No, sir.
तो ये क्लासिफिकेशन क्या है? समझ लीजिए, एफिडेविट फाइल करिए। कितने दिन में एफिडेविट फाइल करेंगे? पहले आप नॉर्म्स बताइए कि एमपीवी की क्या नॉर्म्स हैं डोमेस्टिक कनेक्शन के लिए, कमर्शियल कनेक्शन के लिए, और आप क्या एक्टिविटी करते हैं जिसके लिए कमर्शियल कनेक्शन लिए गए हैं। आप बताइए मैडम जी।
my lord, this bifurcation has been made by the MPEB.
मतलब क्या बाइफर्केशन है, समझिए, उनसे भी समझ लेंगे ना।
So they will answer, my lord, how?
You also answer because you are using those connections. ऐसा तो नहीं है कि आप बिगर, अगर आपका ये कंटेंशन है तो रिकॉर्ड कर लेते हैं। देश के लिए बहुत चिंताजनक बात है कि आप बिगर समझे पेमेंट कर रहे हैं।
सर,
अगर आपको ये समझ में नहीं आया कि कौन सा कनेक्शन कमर्शियल है, कौन सा डोमेस्टिक है, और व्हाई शुड यू पे फॉर कमर्शियल?
What we are saying, we are government of India, we are exempted from any.
वो समझ गए, वो आपकी कल आर्गुमेंट हो चुका है।
With permission of my lord, may permit me to read once Article 287.
हाँ, पढ़ लिया, कल पढ़ लिया था, फिर पढ़ लिया आप।
My lord, allow me to read once.
प्लीज पढ़िएगा।
Yes.
लेकिन पहले मेरी बात का उत्तर आना चाहिए कि कमर्शियल कनेक्शन क्यों लिया है आपने?
हमने लिया नहीं है, इनने बाइफरकेट किया है।
आपने कभी अप्लाई नहीं किया कनेक्शन के लिए?
हमने तो इनका
एक सेकंड,
6.1 कनेक्शन लिया।
you never applied for a commercial
No
connection?
sir, हमने इनसे लिया है 2 LT कनेक्शन, 244
244 LT.
sorry, yes madam, 2 ST connection and 244 LT connection. They came a bifurcate.
LT and ST का क्लासिफिकेशन अलग है। LT is low tension, ST is high tension.
Yes.
That is for different purpose, and the classification of commercial and domestic is for different purpose.
Yes sir.
Sir, when the
हाँ बताइए, when
the joint survey was carried out between MPSCB and MES, sir, so they only came up with the conclusion that all those accommodations which are not being used by married people are to be considered as.
Where is that Panchnama? Where is that joint inspection report?
Sir,
My lord,
You have?
Yes, sir.
Bring it, please bring it.
married my lord 287.
हाँ पढ़िए।
And I would also request my lord, if my lord come to page 21 of their reply also.
पहले 287 पढ़ना है कि पहले पेज 21 पढ़ना है?
पहले मैं 287 पढ़ूंगी, establish करूंगी इससे.
पढ़िएगा.
Yes. Clause A पढ़ रही हूँ sir.
Clause
A.
जी.
Consumed by government of India or, my lord, I am here. Consumed by government of India. If I can take, my lords, page 21 of their reply.
जी.
Who is the consumer?
नहीं, or sold to the government of India.
It is not
for,
and.
For purpose, yes,
With the-
I understand.
Yes, my lord.
Or for
Yes.
sold to the government of India for consumption by that government.
My lord,
Now
that-
here the defining line is consumption. Who
That
is the consumer?
That is why I'm just reading the language of the constitution. My lord, consumed by the government of India or, I'm not going to or, I'm here only, my lord. Consumed by government of India.
Yes.
Now bill they have enclosed, my lord may come to page 21 of their
Page
reply.
21, yes.
Yes, my lord. My lord,
Page 21 of their reply.
yes. My lord, may see the bill has been issued in whose name? The connection which have been taken, my lord, 2ST and 244 LT. The bill is being issued in the name of.
Therefore, it is necessary to understand.
The assistant garrison engineer.
Yes, that I have understood.
Yes.
Now you are required to demonstrate.
Yes, my lord.
दीजिए आपकी रिपोर्ट दीजिएगा.
Serial number 6.
So, my lord, here the consumer is government of India. How they are concerned, how we are using
No,
the.
no, we are concerned. Even court is concerned how you are using it. जी. Yes.
Sir, in this report in serial number 6, sir, they have mentioned that we have 157 domestic connection for these quarters because a separate meter is there and
जी.
87 non-domestic connection which they are considering as commercial. On that basis, they are charging the.
नहीं, आपसे जो बात उसमें उन्होंने स्पष्ट लिखा है that unless you obtain separate connections for the use of the establishment and for transmitting the electricity energy to other consumers, you will be liable to pay the duty on the bulk of it. The day you separate the connections and the one which are used for your purposes from the one which is for which bills are raised and energy is procured, energy is used by some other persons, other beneficiaries may be under you, then duty will be payable only on that part of the electricity so consumed. This is what they have said.
Sir,
Now, have you bifurcated your connections?
sir, we have bifurcated and in this joint survey also, sir, it was identified that which are domestic and which are non-domestic. So we are just paying the electricity duty, sir. It is their responsibility to give the separate bills so that we can pay them separately, sir.
Okay. Yes.
Lordship, kindly see the Lordship in our reply, Lordship.
जी, page number.
In para number 6, Lordship, may one seen, Lordship, thereafter we refer the annexures, Lordship. Para number 5, Lordship.
Para number
5.
जी.
That the petitioner is having two numbers of the high tension connection and 244 number low tension connection from the respondent number 2. The petitioner had applied for tariff category HV 6.1A bulk residential user for two numbers ST connection as per their purpose of use. As per the order of the Madhya Pradesh Electricity Regulatory Commission tariff schedule LT and ST, consumers are provided where under tariff schedule HV 61 is for bulk residential user, which provides as under and so and so. Here is a mention, Lordship, tariff schedule 46 6 applicability. The tariff category H1 is applicable for supply to industrial or any other township that the university or academic institution, hospital, MES and border villagers etc. for domestic purpose only. Such a lighting, fans, heating provided that the connected load of essential common facilities such as non-domestic supplies, residential area, street lighting shall be within the limit specified as under. Water supply and sewage pumping, hospital, no limit. Non-domestic consumed and other general purpose put together 20% of the total connected load, Lordship. And next, Lordship, in para 6, may see that the petitioner is having 244 numbers LT connection, out of which 157 numbers connection are domestic connection and 87 of them are the non-domestic commercial
आपका
connection.
कंटेंशन ये है
Lordship.
कि MES गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया का ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है
Lordship.
और इसलिए आर्टिकल 287 से आपका जो ड्यूटी का क्लेम है वो बार्ड है.
Lordship.
आपने ऐसा कहाँ बताया कि ये जो है गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया के ऑर्गेनाइजेशन के लिए जो कनेक्शंस लिए गए हैं वो बिजली इस्तेमाल नहीं हो रही, अन्य पर्पसेस के लिए इस्तेमाल हो रही है.
Lordship, because petitioner is using the bulk user, Lordship, and therefore as per bulk user, Lordship, commercial bill has been consumed, and as per we have mentioned, Lordship, in the reply and also,
ऐसा कहीं डिस्टिंक्शन है कि आर्टिकल 287 में कमर्शियल और डोमेस्टिक का?
no, Lordship, in the
कंज्यूमर का डिस्प्यूट है,
Lordship.
डिस्टिंक्शन है that if government of India is using that electricity then no duty will be
Lordship.
payable. आपने तो ऐसा कहीं बताया ही नहीं कि गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया ये बल्क जो है लेकर किसी अन्य को बेच रहे हैं.
नहीं बेच नहीं रहे हैं,
हाँ.
लेकिन जहां कमर्शियल एक्टिविटीज और डोमेस्टिक दोनों साथ में चल रही, बल्क यूजर वहां कमर्शियल एक्टिविटीज की ही ईडी लगेगी, ऐसा रूल्स में है.
हाँ बताइएगा, रूल पढ़िएगा. तो आपने क्या सेपरेट किए कनेक्शन की?
हमने सेपरेट बाइफरकेटेड कर दिए. ज्वाइंट वेंचर मीटिंग में बहुत सारे कनेक्शन ऐसे हैं जो बाइफरकेटेड नहीं हो सकते. हमने आपसे कहा बाइफरकेटेड कर सकते हैं क्या, तो बोले कि नहीं, दो ज्वाइंट वेंचर में. तो जब दोनों बाइफरकेटेड नहीं हो सकते तो एज पर रूल
जो बाइफरकेट नहीं होंगे उसमें तो ड्यूटी लगेगी.
हाँ, तो जो उसी में हम ले रहे हैं.
अच्छा,
हाँ, तो जो बाइफरकेट
डोमेस्टिक कनेक्शन में नहीं ले रहे.
नहीं, डोमेस्टिक कलेक्शन में अलग ले रहे हैं, लेकिन जो कमर्शियल सेपरेट है उसमें हम नहीं ले रहे हैं. लेकिन जो बाइफरकेटेड नहीं हो रहा है उसमें एज पर रूल्स हम उसमें ईडी ले रहे हैं, क्योंकि वो कमर्शियल एक्टिविटीज में ही काउंट होगा. वो
जैसे एग्जांपल के लिए
ओआईसी इज आल्सो कम, Lordship.
बुलाइए ना ओआईसी को. आपके कौन है ओआईसी?
Till the noisy comes,
Huh?
may I submit?
हाँ आने दीजिए सुन लेते हैं, आपको भी सुन रहे हैं अभी आपको। आप बताइए
सर इसे मान लीजिए कि बाइफरकेटेड कर दिया, बाइफरकेटेड करने के बाद कमर्शियल जो बल्क यूज है उसमें कैसे बने?
सर इसमें मुख्यतः दो तरह के बाइफरकेशन है, एचटी और एलटी। मैं एलटी की बात से चालू करता हूँ। एलटी में जो घरेलू कनेक्शन है ना, डोमेस्टिक कनेक्शन है, उसके ऊपर ड्यूटी हम चार्ज कर रहे हैं। जो नॉन डोमेस्टिक कनेक्शन है, जिनको अपन कमर्शियल दूसरी भाषा में कह रहे हैं, उन पे हम ड्यूटी चार्ज नहीं कर रहे हैं, यह मानते हुए कि गवर्नमेंट जो यूजर है, ये कंज्यूमर है, वो अपने कामों के लिए यूज कर रहा है। दो बाइफरकेशन, इसमें एलटी में कोई विवाद नहीं है सर। डोमेस्टिक पे ले रहे हैं, नॉन डोमेस्टिक पे नहीं ले रहे हैं। अब हम आते हैं,
इनकी ओर से भी कोई विवाद
नहीं सर, ले रहे हैं ये रिकवरी 59 लाख।
एक मिनट रुक जाइए, लेट हिम कंप्लीट फर्स्ट।
जी एलटी में कोई विषय नहीं है सर, क्योंकि वो बाइफरकेटेड है।
जी
वो डोमेस्टिक वाले अलग हैं, तो डोमेस्टिक में हम ले रहे हैं, जो नॉन डोमेस्टिक कनेक्शन है उस पर हम नहीं ले रहे हैं, ये बिल्कुल क्लियर। अब बात आती सर एचटी के ऊपर में। एचटी के दो कनेक्शन इनके पास में है, और ये दो कनेक्शन जो है, जो टैरिफ जो हमारा कैटेगरी है HV6 उसके अंतर्गत लिए गए हैं। HV6 ये कहता है बल्क रेसिडेंशियल यूजर्स फॉर डोमेस्टिक पर्पस ओनली, और उसमें कुछ कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी की रिस्ट्रिक्शंस भी डली हुई है। 20% तक कमर्शियल एक्टिविटी अपन तक ही लिमिट करना है, उसके ऊपर जाओगे तो फिर आगे कार्रवाई होगी। तो एचटी में क्लियर कट ये लिया हुआ है कि क्योंकि वो मिक्स लोड है, हम बाइफरकेट नहीं कर सकते। एमईएस भी खुद उस कनेक्शन को पर्पस बार बाइफरकेट नहीं कर सकता है, इसलिए उसके ऊपर ड्यूटी एप्लीकेबल होगी। ये चीज जो है ऊर्जा मंत्रालय जो मिनिस्ट्री है, गवर्नमेंट ऑफ एमपी, इसके जो चीफ इलेक्ट्रिकल इंस्पेक्टर, इनने भी यही उल्लेख किया हुआ है कि जब तक ये अलग अलग बाइफरकेट नहीं कर पाते हैं, तब तक के मिक्स लोड पे जो भी कंजम्पशन आ रहा है उसके ऊपर ड्यूटी लगेगी। एज एंड व्हेन जब सब अलग कर लेंगे, सब क्लियर हो जाएगा अलग अलग। जो कमर्शियल पार्ट होगा उस पर नहीं लगेगी, और जो डोमेस्टिक पार्ट होगा उस पर लगेगी। ये क्लियर है सर?
सर ये HV 6.1 टू बल्क रेसिडेंशियल
पेज
कनेक्शन,
नंबर
ये जो सर ये जो आर्ग्यू कर रहे हैं अपने इस रिप्लाई से कि इन्होंने हमें HV 6.1 बल्क रेसिडेंशियल कनेक्शन दिया हुआ है।
हाँ।
Sir, they have only this connection. There is no specific connection for Government of India. So we had no option to accept this connection only. Therefore, my lord, we opted
But he's saying something different.
He's
You have
saying-
not, no,
Yes, sir.
you have not understood what he's saying.
Yes, sir.
He is saying that there are two categories of connections. One is LT connection. There the bifurcation is distinct. One is for domestic purposes and another is for non-domestic purposes. As far as non-domestic is concerned, they presume that it is being used for Government of India and therefore no duty is chargeable on it. As far as domestic is concerned, they are charging duty. Now coming to the HT connection, in HT connection, there are certain restrictions as per this HV6, where the bulk supply is
Yes.
for the purposes of residential uses, subject to ceiling of 20% to be used for other than residential purposes. And therefore, when there is no bifurcation between the domestic use and the official use or the commercial use, therefore the tariff will be charged on the complete supply under this HT connection.
My lord, my number one answer to first query, my lord. First of all, the case is, my lord, domestic, non-domestic does not have any relevancy in this case. What is relevant? Duty is applicable to consumer. Who is the consumer here? I shown this honorable court, the bill raised by them.
So domestic connection से आप पैसा नहीं लेते। अभी आपके कप्तान साहब ने बताया, क्या शुभ नाम है आपका?
Sir,
मेजर सूरज प्रकाश से।
हाँ, मेजर साहब ने भी बताया कि जो डोमेस्टिक्स जो है उसका बिल रेज किया जाता है।
तो इनसे पूछ लिया जाए क्या ये बिल इंडिविजुअल को देते हैं क्या? बिल तो गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को जाता है सर।
ठीक, चलिए।
गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया को बिल जा रहा है
Anything
और
else?
हम सप्लाई कर। अब मैं एक डॉक्यूमेंट दिखाना चाह रही हूँ
जी,
सर।
बताइए।
अभी इन्होंने ऊर्जा मंत्रालय का बात की और कुछ कहा। मैं माननीय न्यायालय का ध्यान आकर्षित करना चाहूंगी। P9 सर, मैंने एक एडिशनल डॉक्यूमेंट के थ्रू एक डॉक्यूमेंट फाइल किया है। एडिशनल
along with आइए,
जी
किस आइए के
आइए
साथ?
नंबर 11677 मिलोट।
जी
ये मैंने महाराष्ट्र इलेक्ट्रिसिटी बोर्ड का एक बिल लगाया है सर।
जी।
अगर मैं माननीय न्यायालय को पेज 6 में
जी
मिलोट
बताइए।
में कम
जी
मिलोट बिलिंग डिटेल्स, सेकंड पैराग्राफ, बिलिंग डिटेल्स।
बिलिंग डेट हिस्ट्री,
yes.
बिलिंग हिस्ट्री।
यस मिस
जी
बिलिंग नहीं, हिस्ट्री नहीं सर। 6 नंबर पेज मिलोट।
6 नंबर।
इट स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम 5 मिलोट, रनिंग पेज 6।
हाँ 6 यस। current consumption details, billing details. Yes.
Second one of billing details. If
जी.
my lord become left side,
जी.
consumption type, industrial, residential. रेसिडेंशियल के आगे लिखा है 2,21,340.
जी.
अब सीधे इसके आगे आइए सर, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी ड्यूटी 0. Can they bifurcate the constitution? Some of the state they are not charging even for residential purpose.
ठीक.
Here they are charging. So they should come out with the answer, my lord.
जी.
That is why I am saying, my lord, duty is leviable to the consumer.
जी.
Here, consumer is the government of India.
Okay.
The bill has been issued in the name of the government of India. We are supplying to the electricity to defense establishment. And the bills are being deducted from the salary of the individuals.
जी.
No bill is being claimed through the name of the individual.
Right.
So this is my sole contention, my lord.
ठीक. Anything else?
That's all.
लिखिएगा. This writ petition is filed by the Military
With what
Engineering
thing, my lord?
Service.
With respect, my lord. So they are saying, my lord, they are not charging electricity duty on commercial connection, but the recovery has been made, my lord, on commercial connection also. That is 59,000.
We will record their undertaking.
Yes.
लिखिएगा. Claiming relief that a mandamus writ in the nature of mandamus be issued, quashing impugned orders dated 17/7/2020 and 21/7/2020, whereby electricity duty has been levied on certain connections taken by the petitioner organization. Full stop. Documents. Only full stop. It is submitted that as per Article 287 of the Constitution, there is exemption from taxes on electricity. Full stop. It is thus submitted that since the consumer is Government of India, no electricity duty is payable. Full stop. It is thus submitted that bifurcation of connection as per use and then charging of duty is not proper, and therefore impugned action of the respondent state needs to be set aside. Next. Shri Suraj Singh, Major Suraj Singh.
Yes.
Major Suraj Singh, who is appearing along with the petitioner counsel, has placed reliance on the order dated, इसकी क्या date है इसकी? ये आपके चीफ इलेक्ट्रिकल इंस्पेक्टर का जो ऑर्डर है,
ये
लक्ष्य
17/7/2020
17/7/2020
17th July 2020, and submits that order is bad in law and deserves to be set aside. Next para. Shri
वेद प्रकाश तिवारी
Ved Prakash Tiwari along with Shri
दीपक चौरासे
Deepak
चौरासे
Chaurase,
डीजीएम फाइनेंस
DGM Finance,
जी
submits that the provisions contained in Article 287 are being misinterpreted. Full stop. He submits that there are two categories of connections, one under LT category and another under HT category. Full stop. In LT category, there is a clear distinction between the connections used for domestic purposes and connections which are used for non-domestic purposes. Full stop. It is submitted that as far as non-domestic connections are concerned, no duty is being charged on them under the LT category because they are presumed to be used by the Government of India for its own consumption. Full stop. As far as domestic connections are concerned, admittedly, bills are being raised by the electricity authorities, and amount is bifurcated and recovered from the consumers from their salary, and that cannot be said to be the purpose of government of consumption by the Government of India. Full stop. It is further submitted that next paragraph. Further submitted that as far as HT connections are concerned, they have been operational under tariff schedule dash capital H capital V dash 6 which is a category under bulk residential users, full stop. It is submitted that since the title of tariff schedule HV-6 demonstrates that it is bulk residential users and it permits up to 20% of non-residential consumption of electricity, and it is not possible to bifurcate the two between residential and non-residential purposes. Therefore, as per the tariff plan, duty is being charged on the billing amount of the HT connection, full stop. It is pointed out that the day it will be possible to bifurcate the HT connection into domestic and non-domestic purposes, then duty will not be charged on non-domestic purposes, treating it to be used by the Government of India. Next para. At this stage, Srimati Kanak Geharwar submits that Article 287 of the Constitution of India does not create any artificial distinction between commercial, domestic or non-domestic use. It only talks of electricity consumed by the Government of India or sold to the Government of India for consumption of that government. And since electricity is sold to the Government of India and not to the individual consumers, therefore electricity duty will be exempted in terms of the provisions contained in Article 287. Next para.
As well as Madhya Pradesh Sulk Adhiniyam also, my lord.
It is submitted that this provision will also be, this provision can also be seen from Section 4 of Vidyut Shulk Adhiniyam 2012. Next, after hearing learned counsel for the parties and going through the record, it will be proper to reproduce provisions contained in Article 287 of the Constitution of India, colon dash, in within inverted commas, 287 dot, exemption from taxes on electricity dash, save in so far as Parliament may by law otherwise provide, comma, no law of a state shall impose, comma, or authorize the imposition of, comma, a tax on the consumption or sale of electricity, within bracket, whether produced by a government or other persons, bracket close, which is dash, within bracket small a, consumed by the Government of India, comma, or sold to the Government of India for consumption by that government, semicolon, or another bracket small b, bracket close, consumed in the construction, comma, maintenance, इसको पूरा लिख दीजिएगा बी को, ठीक है. Next पैरा. Right now it is admitted between the parties that we are only dealing with clause A of Article 287. Clause B is of no immediate use for interpretation of the orders of the state government, full stop. Next para. Thus, when clause A of the Article 287 is examined in the holistic manner, then it is evident that electricity duty is not payable. Electricity duty or tax on consumption or sale of electricity is not payable if the electricity is consumed by the Government of India, comma, or sold to the Government of India for consumption by that government, semicolon, government, full stop. Thus, the distinction is that the part of the energy which is consumed by, which is sold to the Government of India, which is consumed by the Government of India or sold to the Government of India for consumption of that government will not attract any electricity duty. Next para. From this starts the distinction. There are two components. One, energy is sold to Government of India for use in its various establishments, be it be it workshop or mess or office or anything of that description. For that, the Government of India or its entity pays the bill out of its budgetary allocation. Next. Another category is that persons consuming electricity supplied to Government of India are liable to make payment of that electricity but through mechanism of recovery of charges from their salary by the Government of India. Full stop. The second part cannot be said to be the electricity consumed by the Government of India or the one sold to the Government of India for consumption by that government. Full stop. If it would have been consumed by Government of India or used for consumption by that government, then that aspect of recovery of electricity charges from the end users under the domestic connection would have been not there, would not have been there. Full stop. Thus, when admittedly Government of India is recovering charges for the electricity from the end user, then that component of electricity cannot be said to be covered under clause A of Article 287, seeking exemption from payment of duty. Full stop. Next paragraph. Duty is exempted only on that part of the energy which is either consumed by the Government of India or which is sold to Government of India for its own consumption. Next paragraph. Therefore, as far as LT connections are concerned, there being a clear distinction between the clear distinction on account of the end user, that is the consumer, comma, there appears to be no ambiguity in the action of the respondents. Next paragraph. As far as HT connection is concerned, comma, provisions contained in section 3 of the विद्युत शुल्क अधिनियम 2012 दीजिएगा.
It is also annexed, Lordship, in page 59, page 55,
55 में है
Lordship.
आपके जवाब के साथ.
Lordship. And also in 58, 59 schedule and provided. Lordship.
रुक जाइएगा. क्या लिखा? Concerned and विद्युत शुल्क अधिनियम and section 4 of the said अधिनियम are relevant. Full stop. ये मैंने फ्लैग लगा दिया, इसको कॉपी कर लीजिएगा सेक्शन 3 एंड सेक्शन 4.
And Lordship, in the schedule provided 59, Lordship, kindly see page 58 and 59. Page 58 with schedule and page 59 provided, Lordship.
Full stop. Similarly, schedule under section 3 within bracket 1 bracket close part A and its proviso are important. Full stop. Proviso for the sake of convenience is being reproduced herein under. ये दूसरा ऑरेंज फ्लैग लगा हुआ है, इसको यहाँ पर रिप्रोड्यूस कर दीजिएगा प्रोविजो को. सिर्फ प्रोविजो को, पूरी टेबल बनाने मत बैठिएगा. Next paragraph. Thus, a reading of the aforesaid provisions makes it abundantly clear that Section 4 of the Vidyut Shulk Adhiniyam 2012 provides that no duty shall be payable in respect of electricity, within bracket Roman 1 chota wala, sold or supplied to the Government of India for consumption by that government. Full stop. Roman 2 semicolon Roman 2, sold or supplied to the Government of India or a railway company for construction in the construction, maintenance or operation of any railway administered by the Government of India. Full stop. Thus, the exception as contained in Article 287 is incorporated in section 4 of the Vidyut Shulk Adhiniyam 2012 and it deals with the consumption aspect and not the selling aspect alone, full stop. Thus, two things are to be clubbed. One, consumption, and another, who is the purchaser, full stop. If Government of India is purchaser, then there will be no duty payable on the electricity so purchased, subject to the rider that it is purchased for consumption by the government, full stop. If consumer is not the government, but it is being diverted for being consumed by other persons, then duty will be chargeable. And that being the spirit of Article 287 and Section 4 of the Vidyut Shulk Adhiniyam 2012, then it is abundantly clear that wherever there is a distinction between domestic and non-domestic consumption, then duty will be payable on domestic consumption and will not be payable on non-domestic consumption. Next para. This brings us to another aspect, namely of tariff schedule HV6, full stop. It is not in dispute that ST connections have been taken for bulk residential users, full stop. This tariff schedule provides that non-domestic / commercial and other general purposes put together can draw energy up to 20% of total connected load, full stop. But that distinction, there is no distinction, unlike LT connection, between domestic and non-domestic users, and therefore, as per the proviso reproduced above, when the bifurcation is not possible, then the duty is chargeable on the higher of the chargeable on the entire electricity sold or supplied, full stop. In the present case, petitioners have failed to make out a case that they are in a position to seek bifurcation of non-domestic or commercial energy consumption from the bulk residential users, full stop. Therefore, they are liable to pay electricity duty unless and until they are able to separate their non-domestic connections, seeking exemption from payment of duty, full stop. When the scheme of levying of duty is read with Article 287 and provisions contained in Section 3 and 4 of the Vidyut Shulk Adhiniyam 2012, there is no iota of doubt that both the provisions have end user in their mind, and if the end user happens to be Government of India itself, then no electricity duty is payable. But in the present case, for domestic connections and for HT line, consumers are bulk residential users or the domestic for the domestic purposes. Therefore, electricity duty cannot be, electricity energy consumed cannot be said to be used for Government of India purposes, in as much as Government of India is claiming the reimbursement of such energy charges from the end consumer, and thus there is no infirmity or illegality in the impugned orders calling for interference. Next para. ऊपर एक चीज जोड़ लीजिएगा. Mrs. कनक गहरवार has, ये ऊपर जोड़िएगा, मैं रफ दीजिएगा, मैं बता दूंगा कहाँ जोड़ना है. Has drawn attention to IA number 11677 of 2021, which is an application for taking additional documents on record. ये इनका जहाँ चल रहा था ना आर्ग्यूमेंट, वहां जोड़ लीजिएगा. Bringing on record annexure P9, which is the bill generated by Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company Limited, full stop. This is a bill for October 2018. it is pointed out that bill demonstrates under the subhead of billing details consumption type, full stop. There are three consumption types: industrial, residential, and commercial, full stop. It is submitted that for residential types, units are multiplied by the rate and no tax or duty has been charged. Therefore, same principle should be adopted by the state of Madhya Pradesh. अब यहाँ पर इसका जवाब दीजिएगा. Firstly, it is not brought on record that what are the provisions under the local statute. Secondly, if the state of Maharashtra or its agency, namely Maharashtra State Electricity Distribution Company Limited, has not drawn the distinction in terms of the Article 287 of the Constitution on the aspect of consumption, that if the consumer is the Government of India and consumption is made by Government of India, then no duty is payable. And if consumer is somebody else and consumption is made by somebody else, though energy is procured through Government of India, duty will be payable, then that will not be a ground to extend any benefit in favor of the petitioner. Full stop.
My lord, they are garrison engineer. They also provide the electricity
हाँ ठीक
to
है
their
ठीक है
troops.
ठीक है.
And
अब
one
उनका
more-
इंटरप्रिटेशन हमारा इंटरप्रिटेशन अलग है. अब यहाँ से इस इंटरप्रिटेशन को दीजिएगा, वो भी ड्यूटी चार्ज
नहीं,
करना
आज
चालू
तक
कर
नहीं
देंगे.
किया, सिर्फ कोई रिप्लाई नहीं दिया. इनको रिप्लाई देना चाहिए इसका ना.
कोई बात नहीं, कोई बात नहीं.
Sir, one more
हमने
submission,
reply- बस
sir.
हो गया, अब नहीं.
6 point, my lord, as far as HV connection 6.1 is concerned, my lord, is bulk residential. They do not have any other connection except the 6.1.
Okay.
So we are bound to take this connection only, my lord. Let them come out. What are the connection for Government of India?
आपने कराया है ना, डोमेस्टिक नॉन डोमेस्टिक कराया है, आप एलटी में करा
नहीं
लीजिए.
सर, इनके पास 6.1 के अलावा कोई कनेक्शन नहीं है. आपको बता देना.
हाँ हाँ.
सर अभी रिसेंट में ही एमईएस ने जो है टैरिफ कैटेगरी 3.2 के लिए 1000 केवीए की डिमांड के लिए 33 की सप्लाई पे कनेक्शन हमारे लिए अप्लाई किया हुआ है, एचटी कनेक्शन. और इस कनेक्शन के चालू होने के बाद जितने भी एलटी कनेक्शन और अपन एचटी की बात कर रहे हैं, सारे के सारे ये डिसमेंटल कर देंगे. वो दे आर ऑलरेडी अप्लाइड फॉर दैट कनेक्शन.
सर ये
This is-
94 में कनेक्शन लिया गया था.
प्रोसेस में है
बात
सर.
उसकी हो रही, पुरानी बात हो रही
ठीक है,
है.
देखिए.
रियम्बर्समेंट
चलिए, छोड़िए.
बिगनिंग.
नहीं, एक
On
आर्गुमेंट
that
हो
thing,
रही
don't put any connection
है.
other than
Agarwal at
6.1.
this stage submits that there is, वो दीजिए किताब, ये किताब दीजिए, that there is no other option but to take connection under tariff schedule HB6. Next para. Shri
84
दीपक
दीपक
84
डिप्टी
submits
जी.
that
सर, मैं कह रही हूँ,
recently they have
94 से
applied,
जब हमने connection लिया था,
MES has,
तब नहीं था.
please मैडम बीच में नहीं, इस तरीके से बहस नहीं होती है. आप पर्याप्त सीनियोरिटी प्राप्त कर चुकी हैं. डोंट बिहेव लाइक अ नोवाइस.
I'm sorry.
Submits that recently MES has applied under tariff schedule
3.2.
3.2, and once that category is granted, then this dispute of domestic and commercial will wipe out, and they will be entitled to seek exemption on exemption of duty on that connection.
सर नंबर 1 के लिए सर
नंबर 1 के लिए साहब का नाम डाल दीजिएगा बोल्ड अक्षरों में.
We are grateful. No, the officer wants to submit something regarding this connection which he.
नहीं, there's no need.
We are grateful.